With Mutant releasing in 2021, it has me thinking of more games that are coming out this year that I could be hyped for. So that's what today's video is going to be about. My top 5 anticipated games of 2021. So, as you should already guess and understand about my list in particular, I do not like doing my honorable mentions last. I like to do them first. Now, there are two reasons if a said title has not made the list. It's either A, the game wasn't advertised enough for me to notice, or B, the game itself has me worried and won't be able to see either its gameplay or any confirmation whatsoever for the game to be released. Now with that being said, let's dive right into these games. To kick off our honorable mentions, we have Dynalite 2. A game that's being developed by Techland, who was the original hands for the Dead Island series. The reason why it's back here is because I was a little worried for the game, in all honesty. I kind of sat back and just hoped that it was doing okay and that the developers got their stuff together. Even with some of the people in the development team had either left or had changes towards the game that caused a couple of setbacks, for the most part, thankfully, we still have a Dynalite to look forward to, since this title is coming out on December 7th, 2021. Next up on the chopping block is Crossfire X. Now the reason why the game didn't come out last year is because Microsoft decided to add a single player portion at the last minute. Being that the single player portion is being developed by Remedy Games instead of the South Korean team who's actually behind the entire game outside of the single player portion. Now, I don't know much about this game in all honesty, other than it's very similar to CSGO in terms of inspiration. However, I wouldn't hold that as a judgment to really say the C word. But despite that, I hope the game itself is promising and that it'll be a good thing for Microsoft. That's all I can say for the moment for this game. It looks pretty good, and I hope it plays very well when it comes to the multiplayer itself. So we'll find out soon enough. Now in all honesty, I didn't expect this game at all. A Batman game without Batman. Like, how can you do this? So in case you guys are wondering and you're a little bit confused, trying to understand what the hell is going on, Batman in this timeline is dead. Like, dead as hell. And the only people who are left to defend Gotham are the people who he either taught or basically just followed in his footsteps. Now, for the most part, we haven't seen much of his game, and I am a little worried. I don't know when this game's coming out, or how well it's looking, or anything else outside of the details, along with this game and Suicide Squad that's supposed to come out. But unlike Suicide Squad, I can see this game happening, because for the most part, this game looks fun. It looks like, you know, the better version of Avengers, personally speaking. Not trying to front, but honestly, I would play this game versus the Avengers game. I'm just saying. Now, the final game for this honorable mentions bucket, we have Ghostwire. For the most part, what I can explain for this PlayStation exclusive, it's basically about you as a guardian who fights basically evil spirits, is what I can come to terms with. Now, this game is weird, and I mean the good type of weird. Unfortunately, I don't have anything informative to add to this particular title. All I can really say is this game I am actually really excited to see. I want to play it in all honesty, and it kind of makes me want to get a PlayStation outside of those other exclusives that I know of. But this game itself, I wish I seen more and know more of it to see what's going on. But hey, I'm glad it's coming.
5.
Alright, so for this one, we have the next Life is Strange. Life is Strange True Colors. So, the new character, Alex, who is a female this time around, and you move into this new and quiet town. As you begin to live and adjust there, you now have to uncover a murder of someone close to you. And as the story goes on, you begin to learn of her powers. Instead of being able to rewind time or to have telekinesis, your character has the ability to identify someone's emotions, or to basically undergo their emotions and express them. And as you're expressing them, you have to basically investigate what their secrets are or what they're hiding. But for the most part, it seems very interesting, and I hope to see more and hear more from this developer of Dynalite. 4. Alright, not to try to treat Far Cry like it's the next Call of Duty or whatever, but I am quite excited to see what comes in store for this installment. Your character has a name, and you also talk, and on top of that, the whole game takes place somewhere in Cuba, where your whole objective is to overthrow some vicious dictator and his son. For the most part of Far Cry, you have a couple of new tricks and gadgets that can try to top or ante that of the last game, and it depends on how you view or perceive the game. I will say there is no arcade mode or map editor. I hope there is a multiplayer, or at least some form of co-op to kind of at least balance the scale a bit. But there's one other thing that is on my mind to this very, very day. We are going to play as the old villains from the other Far Cry games? 3. Oh my fucking god. Hot Wheels has been something that a childish part of me still loves to this very day and won't let go. Sure, I don't buy the toys or anything like that at all at this point, but at the very least, Hot Wheels is something I can think fondly of as one of my favorite childhood toys. Being that we're getting a game on top of that, that's just putting whipped cream on it. Like, you're just gonna make me want it more. Especially the fact that we're gonna have around over 100 cars and 40 different tracks, and on top of that, they're in the perspective of how I would see a Hot Wheels game, from the perspective of like a kid almost. That's how I want to play my Hot Wheels games. I want to feel young, and that's literally what the team behind this game is doing. They're expressing that love, and that's all it takes to be a competent game designer and to have a mutual relationship, is to understand how a person feels in that moment in time. Take notes. 2. Oh, I'm so glad we're getting another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. It's been a while. Do you realize when was the last time one of these games was released? The last game that came out was Mutants in Manhattan, and that was 2016. Don't you even dare try to bring those mobile games in here, because those do not even count. With this particular title itself, I am just excited for two good reasons. Number one, it's the classic Ninja Turtles. Number two, the game itself also happens to be developed by the same team who made the Streets of Rage game. And when I say the Streets of Rage game, I mean Streets of Rage 4. This is already getting my favorites. 1. Back 4 Blood. Now, for those who don't recognize or understand the brand, I'm gonna give you a little history lesson. Left 4 Dead was a popular zombie shooter. A game where you simply explore parts of the maps with your team and try to run or race to the safe room just to get to the last part of the level where you have to escape or survive a certain area before your escape gets there. It was invigorating. The game has a lot of different mechanics, especially having a very interesting and creative versus mode. Now, what does that say for Back 4 Blood? In all honesty, that game has a lot to live up to. There are 8 different characters, cosmetics, and cards that you get to use to help you out in the game. And as well as they have their own DLC, which will allow you to play another set of characters and another set of locations or maps or whatever that you get to play on. The game itself looks very interesting. It's coming out in October, unless if they hold it back or some other crazy crap. So my brothers and family members can rejoice, as Left 4 Dead itself is not gone, but rather has risen. And with that, that is my top 5 games that I'm excited for 2021. I
hope you guys enjoyed this video that I've compiled together and kind of worked on, and it took me a while to do because I was busy. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.